It adds extra context. And if you can, I would really encourage you to hop on the YouTube live above. You can come say hello to me, drop us something in the comments. In the pinned tweet above, if you scroll over to the right, you'll see sorry, just give me 1 second. I'm just sorting something background. Okay, amazing people, amazing. How's everyone doing today? Zero, how are you doing today, brother?
Doing well. Thanks everyone for showing up. Thanks, Post and ACV for co-hosting. Hopefully we'll get some names sold, and I'm curious what names are going to be coming up to be promoted. So excited. We're looking to maybe buy some names, and I hear that you're giving away some ETH.
That is correct indeed. So yeah, we've got a lot planned in today's show. We've got two $25 and ETH giveaways. These are going to be given out to someone who retweets this Twitter space and pushes it out. I'll do a Twitter picker. But also we've got a small segment of this show, which is for community members to pitch. And so one person who is brave enough to come up on stage and pitch, one of those winners is going to win $25 in ETH as well. There's also going to be an ENS given away by myself. We've got lots of amazing, great names today. From no reserve right the way up to some real, truly premium names. So I'm super excited to do this one with you. It's interesting trying to juggle it all on YouTube Live, but I'd really appreciate if you could jump over there and we'll get this show started. But I want to hear from ACV first, who stepped in to help me with this, and I really appreciate it. So how are you doing today, mate?
Hey, doing good, man. I look forward to it. I look forward to this evening. Yeah, there's a lot of good names coming. Looking over the list, so I'm excited about that. I think some of these should get some sales, especially at these prices. So, yeah, glad to be here. Look forward to it, guys.
Amazing then. Right, let's get this party started then without further ado. So welcome everyone. This is the Sunday auction. I'm the ENS Trading Post. We're the ZZC Group, and strap yourselves in because we're gonna have a super fun hour over the next in this Twitter space and on YouTube Live. Like I said, we've got a full range of names. We've got the most premium name today, starting at a 4.5 ETH reserve, and that's Karma.eth. But right the way down, we've got some really, really, really nice 5-digit, like premium 5 digits with like 666 repeating in there. We've got 36665 and 54443. They're starting at no reserve. So regardless of your budget today, people, there's opportunities to get involved, and there are always bargains at the ENS Trading Post and ZZC Sunday auction. So, super excited for what we're going to do today. The plan of attack, what we're going to do, how we're going to spend this next hour is essentially we're going to start off by going through some of these premium names that we've selected. We've got a really high caliber auction list. I'm going to be telling you why I like the names, potential use cases for the names, who the target buyers might be, who may want to buy this name down the line, metrics, things like that. Also, I'm then going to get feedback from ACV and other people on the panel if you'd like to give an insight on a name. So we're going to work through. I really want to give you some in-depth analysis of these different names. Hopefully you might learn some alpha as well. We'll be giving our different opinions on different things. As we come to the halfway point, there's going to be a chance. We're going to have a small segment then for people to come up on stage, pitch your name to the show. Tell us why you think this name should be sold, why you think it's worth what you've priced it at, and just give us a bit of explanation. Then we're going to have a few more of our client names. We've got some absolute bangers again. We've got educator, occupation, consume, migrate, migration, things of this caliber, just truly amazing names. And then from there, we're then going to have a live auction of one of our subdomains. So should be a fun hour. Hopefully you'll learn something. Lots of things to bid on. And that's the plan. So ACV, does that sound good, brother?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Amazing then. Let's get straight into it. Let's do it. Let's not stand on ceremony. Let's get into this now. Oh, sorry, Ron, I can see you there, my friend. I didn't see you on stage. I'm managing a few different things. How are you today, mate?
Hey, doing good. Looking forward to the auction. Yeah, getting snuck up on me, man. I looked down and and it was starting. So good thing. Nice sunshiny day here finally, and looking forward to some good stuff happening.
Awesome. Yeah, Ron, time moves crazy. Time warps strange in this Web3 world. But yeah, you're absolutely correct. So I didn't actually explain, I should. There's going to be two parts to this auction. So this first show is an introduction to the names. It's an overview of what you're going to be bidding on. But then we're going to have a week of promotion following this, followed by same time, same place next week. We'll have another live show to conclude the auction. So that's the plan. But yeah, honestly, Ron, we've got some absolute banger names today. It's going to be really interesting. So without further ado, what I want to just explain briefly, and if you're on the YouTube live now, feel free to follow along with this. I would appreciate it. Is I'm just going to quickly show you how to bid. So if you can see on the screen here, this is on ENS Vision. So essentially, if there's a name that you like today, so if you would like to place a bid on karma.eth, then you're going to search for Karma in ENS Vision, and you're going to come to the page here, which is Karma. And if you would like to bid in this auction, simply click this Make Offer button here, and you can make the offer in wrapped Ethereum that you would like to make. So Karma, that's starting at a 4.5 ETH reserve. If you would like to bid on this name, it is listed for 7 in this case. The buyer wanted to leave it there at 7, but if you'd like to place a bid at say 4.5, come on here, place a bid, and that's how you place a bid for the auction. This time next week at 4:30 Eastern, in a week's time, is when the auction will close. So if the reserves have been met, the bidders will accept the highest bids then at that point. Right, let's do it. So people, the first item that we've got for you is a really, really nice name. Item number 1 on the auction list is metropolis.eth. So metropolis.eth. This name starting at a 3 ETH reserve. So it's a little bit higher, but I think it's very fair from the seller. The Oxford Dictionary gives the definition as being the capital or a chief city of a country or region. So clearly there are many, many different metropolises in different metropolitan areas which exist all over the world. And like we said before, people, if there are multiple, potential uses and buyers, that equals one thing, which is competition. So I like this name because of that. I also think that, where do I see this name being used? Well, in my mind, it's a great, if not one of the best candidates to build a decentralized virtual world or metaverse upon. It's also got relations to the fandom world. So Metropolis is actually the city which the Superman series is based, that franchise. So I think there's definitely potential there if, say, DC or anyone were to come in. Well, what if they were to do a Superman-based NFT or Web3 related project? If they decided they want to build their own metaverse, because the number of these metaverses that can be built is infinite. There's no limit to the amount of people who may create a new metaverse. But what is limited by design are, the number of ENS names which exist. In terms of Metropolis, like every other ENS, is a one of one. So even if there are, tens of thousands of metaverses, there will only ever be one metropolis.eth. So I think it's got a real nice value proposition there in sort of a digital metaverse sense. I also just think that, it's got for me personally, it's got kind of a futuristic cyberpunk kind of feel akin to Web3 and crypto. Like Metropolis seems like for some reason, like a crypto type name to name a digital location. And I think I really like it because of that. In terms of similar sales, so Metro.eth, which you could use a shortened type version, it has never been sold. Another digital location with sort of historic significance is Babylon, and that was sold in January for 20 Ethereum. So if the right buyer is out there, you're looking at Babylon being sold for 20 and Metropolis being on auction here today at 3. It's not bad value for money at all, people. Not financial advice, of course, but I think it's a very, very nice name. The .com estimation. So today in this presentation, if you're following on the YouTube live, you can see on the screen, I've got some .com evaluations. So I've taken these from a tool called Estibot, and now I'm aware that .com appraisals and ENS appraisals aren't sort of as directly correlated as one might think, and these are designed to be kind of a benchmark number that we can use to reference throughout, and just to compare what different valuations are given in the .com sphere. So metropolis.com was valued at 151,000, and it's, in terms of broad monthly searches, it's had 2.2 million, with a cost per click of $1.28. So yeah, overall, I think there's a lot going for this name, and I think it's a great one. I'm gonna throw it over to my friend now, ACV, who's just gonna give his 2 cents on this name. Go ahead, my friend.
Hey, yeah, no, before even looking at this slide with Metropolis, my mind went to a metaverse world, something being created on that. So yeah, I think there's huge value here. Honestly, that's can be. I always look at words. Have I heard that word? Do I think others around me have heard or used that word? And I think we all can agree Metropolis is a huge word. Yeah, I mean, I think at 3 ETH is priced correctly. It's got a lot. I mean, honestly, whenever I think of like the future and cities, I think of metropolis-based images. We all get that image in our head of what a future-based metropolis looks like. And yeah, I think that's spot on with this. Looking at the other data, I see Babylon sold for 20 ETH. Metro, I mean, Metro's had some big bids on it and hasn't sold. The only other key that I could see on the word Metro is like metrosexual being used in that term, so it having another meaning. But I think Metropolis is priced spot on, and yeah, I think the seller will get that for it. It's just my 2 cents on that one.
Yeah, great points, mate. Completely agree. Like, there's something just about this name that stood out to me. I just like this word as well. Like, it's got so much going for it, and I think it is a very cool word for sure. I think 3 ETH is, obviously in this market, it's up and down. We had a lot of volume last week. It's anyone's guess where we go from here. But if someone's looking to come on into ENS and acquire some quality names, then it's hard to argue against Metropolis being of that quality and of that caliber. So really nice name, people. This is going to be a 7-day auction, so I believe I've said it, but we've got another show next week. There's 7 days now for you to bid. So if you like this name, please head over to ENS Vision. Type in Metropolis. I'll be putting all the links after into a post to make it easier for you. But basically, just bid on the name in ENS Vision, and that's how we're going to keep track of the bidding. So if you like it, people, now's your chance. So with that, we're going to move on to item number 2 of today's auction, which, again, absolute banger of a name. So everyone that's here today, in the ENS space, on this Twitter space, YouTube Live with me right now, I feel like we're all trying to achieve something. We're not here to waste our time. Everyone out here right now is trying to achieve something. We want to leave our mark on the Web3 space. We want to do something that stands the test of time. So the next item that we've got for you today is item number 2, and this is achieve.eth. So achieve.eth. And this is priced at a very reasonable reserve. The seller could have, maybe put it higher and I still accepted, but we got a reserve today of 1.5 Ethereum, people, for achieve.eth. So firstly, one of the main things that stood out straight to me, one of the first things that I felt with this name straight away was just how positive of a word it was and how motivational it is. To achieve something, it's got a real sort of sense of positive and striving associated with it. And because of that, I do think that, I think there's a wide variety of potential use cases that a builder could come in and build out with Achieve. I mean, if you were a user on a platform that's branded and called on the blockchain in every digital sense Achieve, then, you feel like it's a purposeful platform to be on, and you feel like you're actually doing something here as the user. So, yeah, it's a very nice name. Potential applications could be, say, personal development, setting of goals, productivity. Could also be sort of a motivational speaker platform or a tutoring platform or any type of education learning platform which would help you to achieve your goals and learn more things. So I actually think because there are a wide variety of use cases that could potentially happen with this name, and this name would be a great candidate for, that creates that competition again. There's only one achieve.eth. And I think there are many different builders who may wish to look and utilize that site. So I think those are real selling points for me. There are other alternatives, obviously the synonyms of these different words. You could have attain or triumph or things like that. But, I put it into ChatGPT and tried to get the different synonyms. And I did this with my friend Fry, and this ranked number 3 out of 20. So it's definitely up there as being a very desirable term. I also think it could be a great username for an individual as well. It's got a .com appraisal of 108,000, monthly broad searches of 1.5 million, and a cost per click of 83 cents. So a little bit lower on the sort of the cost per click, but I think it's a really standout and purposeful name for sure. ACV, what are your thoughts on Achieve, mate?
Man, I really like this one. I'll tell you, and I think this is one that was discussed. It was listed around 5.5 in the past or present, and now with the 1.5, I think this price could be better. To be honest with you, I mean, everything that you covered on this domain, I think so. Achieve the definition involves success, and so I could see this being a huge flex name for someone like with the definition of it: successfully bring about or reach. So successfully bring about ETH, not ETH. You see what I'm saying? I could see someone that's done well in Web3 or done well in life could want to pick up something and identify with a word like this as well as all the other things. But yeah, honestly, I think 1.5 ETH, perfect spot on for this one. I look forward to seeing this one run up because I feel this is a phenomenal price on this one. Just my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, completely agree, mate. And that's a great point you made there as well. How like the inclusion of achieve.eth, like you're almost achieving ETH, like lends itself even more to potentially being a single user as well. That's achieved a lot in the space. So yeah, completely agree on your points there. So yes, people, the same process. If you would like to bid and achieve, starting off at 1.5 ETH reserve, the sellers took it down for this one. So consider a bid. Head over to ENS Vision. Search achieve and place your wrapped ETH offer there. I'll also be putting links afterwards. We're going to run for 7 days. If you bid 1.6 in 7 days time from now, then that name is yours. So don't sleep on these opportunities, because in a bit of a quiet market, there's always opportunities out there. So if you're looking to secure a very premium name, then consider some that we've got on auction today. With that, let's move on to item number 3. So item number 3, we've got some great names here. Item number 3 is department.eth. So department.eth. This is starting off at a 2 ETH reserve. And when I was making the tweet for this, I came to realize just how many different departments there are, like globally. Department of Health and Social Care, Department of Business and Trade, Department of Justice, Department of Defense. There's just so many, Department of Education, so many different types. And so like we said before, when there's thousands of departments globally, more potential buyers, competition, potentially drive the price up. But what I really like this name for is like potential subdomains as well. So what makes a good subdomain? Well, it's something that there are a lot of like obvious like subs which run from that like category name, and like I just think that department is such a great name for this. You could have, say, media.department, science.department, sales.department, education.department. But I also think you could actually take it one step further and say you could have, so say if it was Oxford University, you could have oxford.physics.department.eth, and that's where all of their crypto relate. That would be their crypto wallet. Do you know what I mean? And that would be their login. And I feel like this name, the amount you could sub into it could be very extensive. You could have lots and lots of different subs for this potentially. So that's the real selling point for me on this one. Is just the sheer potential of the subs. I also think that, like we've said before, like we said with Metropolis, that these subs are potentially digital locations in themselves as well, like physics.department or, sales department. Maybe there's a media department in the metaverse 5 years from now, 10 years from now, who knows? Maybe we'll go to that media.department.eth together one day. But, these different digital locations need sort of names which do what they say on the tin, okay? So, like, it needs to explain what that digital location is. And I think that it's almost never ending for department here. So I think that those are definitely major selling points for me. Finally, the whole idea of department stores, this being sort of a coin term for high end or luxury goods. I think that only sort of like adds value to the word. The fact that department stores specifically are the ones known for having real high quality and luxury. In terms of similar sales, we did see DPT, sort of like Dept, the shortened version of department, that was sold for 1 Ethereum on the 16th of January 23. But you know, like, is it? I think that was a little bit cheap at the time. And does it have the same subdomain potential as the full word department? Maybe, but probably not, in my opinion. It's hard to say at this time which direction people prefer, sort of the shorter or longer words. But yeah, I've been rambling on a bit there, ACV. You chime in, mate. What do you think of department?
Man, they didn't come out with bangers today. So yeah, I can personally relate to this one. So like I was telling you initially, I'll always look at word, how often I use a specific word and how often I think others around me could use or hear that word. And so like I can tell you on a day-to-day basis, just in my industry, automotive, there's 5 departments. And so I'll kind of break it down from the way I see it. There's 5 departments. We've got, and we've got sales, finance, detail, service, and parts in this department. On all of our clerical paperwork is spelled out the actual word with DEPT, the shortened version, selling for 1 ETH. I think the writing's on the wall here, because department is how everything is used. And I see, my mind immediately goes to subdomains and how huge a subdomain, imagine how huge a subdomain off of department could be. Just say, think of every dealership that's in the world. Think of every service department. There could only be one service department. You see what I'm saying? Just from a subdomain standpoint. So yeah, man, I think this one is great. And that's just in my industry. It's huge to me, and not thinking like Department of Health. Yeah, all the possibilities. So I like this one a lot. It's got a lot of meaning to me. So yeah, I could look forward to seeing this one sell.
Yeah, mate, absolute great points. No, completely agree. And like you're saying there, who knows, down the line, 5 years from now, service department by itself, you know, as a standalone sub, may be worth, you know, I mean, if you've got all these subdomains which are separately worth and potentially gaining value, then, you know, it's to own the root domain here today for 2 Ethereum it's definitely something people should give some thought to if they're looking to enter the ENS space and looking to acquire some top names. So same again, people, you know the deal. ENS Vision, search department, place a wrap teeth offer. It's got to be over 2 Ethereum for it to be accepted. Auction closes in 7 days. As easy as that. So item number 4 that we've got for you today. Oof, absolute banger again. You know, this is the highest reserve name, and I don't take high reserve names lightly. Like I won't enter a name that I don't think's, you know, reasonable for a high reserve, and that's because I really like the quality of this name. So item number 4 is karma.eth. Karma.eth, and so that is available at a 4.5 Ethereum reserve. So, you know, it is slightly more expensive, but I think it's clear why this is such a desirable name. For me, this is a very universal term. I feel that like a lot of different age groups from all walks of life globally would be able to recognize the term karma and have some sort of association to it. I think it's got a large audience appeal. I think it's a very inclusive term of a lot of different sectors. You know, you've got the whole idea of meditation and spirituality and ethics and religion and all, like karma itself. I believe it comes from like a Buddhist teaching, you know what I mean, of you, if we put good things out and goodwill into the ether, then, you know, good things happen back to you. But I think that because this name covers so many different industries, or slightly different industries potentially, I think it really adds value to it. So yeah, for a builder who was going to come in and wanted to say build some type of ENS application, looking to target say the meditation audience or spiritual audience, which are massive markets, like, is there a better name than karma.eth? Like I don't know, it's up there for sure. Like you could have meditates and things like that, but I think this is a very, very strong term, a very strong name. In terms of like search engine optimization, like you know, karma is a very popular in search term, and so having the karma.eth in your name, it helps to get that organic traffic even more to that name to be able to view your potential site that you're going to build out on karma.eth. But yeah, so my final point was I do think it's a very versatile name. I think the end buyer could be a lot of different people or a lot of different companies who could potentially be interested in a lot of different things. So I think that, you know, many potential buyers for me equals competition. So karma.eth, Karma.com, sorry, was valued by SDBot at $221,000. So, high up on SDBot. It's got a broad monthly searches of 6.1 million and a cost per click of about 50 cents. So, very nice name, lots of potential. I'll stop chatting on. ACV, give us some thoughts on that one, mate.
Yeah, I like this one too. I like all of them. I see with all of them. Karma, I mean, I can't see a much cleaner word. This 5 character, you know what I mean? That's used on a daily basis, has multiple meanings, has a low registration cost. It's one of the perfect 5 character words that carries the low renewal. But I'll tell you another angle I see from this. So obviously I've got the maxis, but I'm not very familiar with all of the, which I see them, but saying I'm familiar with a lot of the NFT projects, but just one. I mean, I see this word being used and slung around often. Like I know the on-chain monkeys, they have a karma. I don't know if it's a collection or so. Even seeing this word being used in that perspective already in NFTs, I think carries even more weight. And I know it's not the only one. I can only imagine, but yeah, I like karma a lot. And it's a whole, I mean, we've all said karma in some point, whether good karma, bad karma. Everyone in this room is familiar with the word. So, yeah, I think that word carries a lot of weight. And I could see it bringing this reserve.
Amazing, mate, yeah.
Hey, folks, let me jump in. I think This is one of the best words we've had in a while. And my opinion on the valuation, I think it's pretty spot on. Actually, it's a touch low, but I love this. It's a great, great word. And it could be a great flex too, using karma.eth as your username. Damn. So, bro, it's actually at price, very well.
Yeah, completely agree. It's the type of name that if a year or two down the line it sold for 50 ETH, you probably wouldn't even bat an eye. So it's definitely, you could see it going for so much potential. It's got a lot of potential, and with it being so universal, like you said, someone may just come in and want it as a flex for a personal name. So yeah, this is probably one of the highest quality names that we've had on the Sunday auction so far. So hopefully we can get that reserve. I think it's definitely justified. I wouldn't even like to see it get sold on this show for less than 4.5, because I think we'd be doing an injustice to the seller. So I think it's very fair. If we get the right buyer, we're going to reach out. If we get the right buyer, we get them. But it's a very reasonable price for a top quality name. And like ACV said, there's also that Psychedelics Anonymous. They're also token gating like mental health support and meditation type mindfulness. So there's already people building token gated Web3 applications that are in this sort of sphere. And, there's only one karma.eth. So amazing name. It really is. The next item we've got for you people is item number 5, and this is tire.eth. So truthfully, when I selected this name, I was not aware that there was a discrepancy between the British and American spelling for this name. So this name is in fact Tyre, spelled Tyre. How us strange British people spell the word. It's starting off at a 0.35 ETH reserve. The global tire market is valued at over 300 billion in 2020, according to researchandmarkets.com report. I still think that it's a very premium name. It's actually quite interesting because I feel like this is a somewhat undiscussed and undiscovered topic within ENS, is, the discrepancies between the British and American language. I think the majority of us would say that, the US has a lot more people, a lot broader sort of cultural reach around the globe. So I, for one, and I think many others would agree that the US spelling is almost certainly demands a higher price point. But it is interesting to what degree of a higher price point does it warrant? Like, are we talking, is it twice as valuable? Should it be 5 times as valuable, 10 times as valuable? So that's an interesting price element that I think is yet to be discovered within ENS. There's probably some Web2 research on that, but it is an interesting point. But what I just want to make aware to you by bringing that up is the tire.com, the British spelling, was valued by SDBot at $121,000, and the Tire American spelling was valued at $281,000. So just over twice as valuable it's saying that the American spelling is worth. And now we're seeing here that the Tire, the Tire.eth, the American spelling, has previously had a 1.6 ETH offer on it a few months back. And today we're auctioning off Tire at a 0.35 reserve. So, I mean, that's like 4.5, 5 times cheaper than what that previous offer was. So that's definitely an interesting area, which is going to be made more clear in the future on how that develops. I think this, like other products, it has its beer.eth parallels, like a tire manufacturer. So if anyone, I assume that a tire is in what goes on the wheel of a car, could come in and may want to purchase this on a similar thesis to what Budweiser did with beer.eth. So I think that's also the potential there as well. We've got 4 months registration on it. And yeah, I think it's got 7.5 million broad searches, monthly searches, and a cost per click of $1.41. That's for the British spelling. So definitely, it's a real word of a real product that millions of people use every day. So it is a strong ENS word, and it's starting at 0.35, so more reasonable than some of the most premium that we've had on display today, but still really nice. I want to just bring your attention next to the next 2 items that we've got. So these are our no reserve items today, people. Okay, so no reserve. So if no one listens to this space and no one places a bid and you play 0.01, then it's yours in 7 days from now. So, these are going to be sold in 7 days. The highest bid, these names will be sold. So the first one that we've got is 36665.eth. So it's a 100K club. It's 5 digits. But this is not a floor digit by any stretch of the imagination. Firstly, you've got the significance of the 365. So 365 days in a year, sort of that idea of never stopping, always going 365 around the clock. Also in there, you've got this 666 repeater. So you've got 36665. So obviously the symbolism and just the fact of having 3 digits repeating in the middle is very cool in my opinion. So the floor of 666 repeaters right now is 0.1 ETH. So that's the floor right now, and it's very thin. The next lowest is 0.3. So I think there's definitely room for someone potentially to walk away with a bargain here. We've also got another 5 digit, which is 54443, another no reserve item, people. So this has got a nice 543 sequence, and it's got this nice 4 repeater, so 54443. And my sort of personal feelings are, I think that as the 100K club matures, I think these rare digits in terms of cool, nice, aesthetically looking repeating patterns and sequences, I think they're going to be much more sought after than the floor 100K digits. That doesn't help my bags. I've got a lot of floor 100K digits, truthfully, but that's the way I think it's going to go, and I think that price discrepancy is going to increase even more. And what I'm going to do right now to get the bidding started is the first person who goes onto ENS Vision and bids on either of these names can literally be 0.0001 wrapped ETH. The first person to do that, I'll give you a name from the ENS Trading Post collection. I'll make sure it's a good one after this space ends. So, if you're on there now, then go and place a bid, DM me after this and win a prize. But yeah, ACV on those 2, we've got the British spelling of tire. We've got those nice 5 digits. Have you got any thoughts, my friend?
Yeah, I can tell you. I think that's pretty huge. I can only tell you in my portfolio, like in the past, I've got some repeaters, and I've only got 2 ending in say 00. But I caught some pretty good bids on those this past cycle. I can tell you. So I could see that being a huge snatch on both of those numbers, especially with the repeaters in the center. But yeah, tire, man, I'll tell you on this one. I like it. I fully understand. So I can tell you, like, my personal strategies. I picked up other languages also because I understand Web3 English is not going to be the only fluent language. You know what I mean? Like the British tire with this spelling. So yeah, I've got others similar, but like where my mind goes to on this one, tire. So you could have someone that worked at like a mechanic shop or a tire shop that prided themselves in that industry, and they could own and use that as a flex as a domain name, and also kind of how you touched on. There's multiple different manufacturers of tires, like Michelin is, like I say, based out of France. But if someone wanted to grab that reach of that word and use it from a marketing perspective of building, like say, a decentralized site or whatnot, I can see that being a huge thing also. So yeah, I think the domain's priced accordingly, having the British spelling, and yeah, it'd be cool to see that one go also. But yeah, all the numbers and tire, I can see, especially no reserve on these numbers. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, complete. Yeah, mate, I forgot you worked in automotive. I should have gone straight over to you on tire. That's some great insight there. And yeah, complete. I think it's a very very fair, reasonable price. And I think these 2 5 digits at no reserve are absolute steals. I think if you walk away with them for like a few dollars, then it's an absolute bargain. But I can definitely see those running up to where they deserve to be. I'd be disappointed if they don't go for over 0.1. So yeah, very nice names. Shows you that that we've got a full range of names available for people in this auction. I'm not going to turn up each week with a load of 10 ETH names only. I'm not going to turn up with a load of no reserve names only. We're going to have a nice selection. So if you'd like to get involved, these are on no reserve. Just place a bid now for the fun. Just be part of this auction that we're trying to do. But yeah, get involved. Those are there. I think nothing I say is financial advice, of course, but for me, I think that at no reserve, they look very, very attractive. So how's everyone doing in the audience? Give us some thumbs up if you're following. Hope everyone's having a good Sunday. Is everyone still there, enjoying? Hope good to see. Awesome. No, it's an absolute privilege for you all to be here, and I appreciate you spending your Sunday afternoons or Sunday evenings or mornings, wherever you are in the world, with us. So yeah, with that being said, we're going to go on to our next item today, which is item number 8. Okay, so this is contraception.eth. Contraception.eth. This one's starting at a 1 Ethereum reserve. If you invest in this now, if you invest in contraception, you might save yourself some money down the line. But yeah, it's obviously it's a massive global market. I got a valuation of 24 billion USD as of 2021. The SD bots rating this one at $213,000 for the .com. So very, very similar to names like Metropolis and things of that nature in a .com sense from SDBot. In terms of monthly broad searches, we've got 1 million and a high cost per click here of $2.31. So it is a very, a very well-known medical term within that sphere of like medical people. I also think that there's not really many great alternatives. Like, yeah, maybe you could have birth control or protection, but I think after that, contraception is contraception, and I feel like there's only one real word which properly describes that in a medical setting. And like anything we said, all ENS are a one of one. One part in this name, I don't fully the Web3 related application right now, but I can definitely see as more people come into the space, like who knows what different projects are going to be put on the blockchain. So yeah, a very nice medical term. The reserve starting on this one at 1 ETH. I'm going to fire over to you, ACV. Have you got any thoughts on this one, contraception.eth?
Yeah, kind of my initial thought on this one was kind of with you in terms of like Web3 scaling. Maybe not at this moment, but this word could be huge for my industry. So I'll tell you, me personally, I love generics. I love industries, and this covers a whole host. Like you've got multiple different methods. Was it like injectables, patches, implants, pills? So I have a small medical background also, so I'm very familiar with this word. And I think this is priced correctly. If someone was, say, willing to take a risk on something like this, the reward could be huge in a sense, because it's not only just one form like pills. There's multiple different subcategories. So yeah, this is a good one, and I like medical terms. I actually hold some medical terms. So yeah, I think this is smart thinking, a smart domain.
Yeah, completely, mate. I can definitely see this being the type of name that gets bought up and then just put in a wallet and just hoarded and just not really even put back on the market. I think some of these medical terms can be very valuable down the line, and certainly sounds like big brain play from you to be collecting those up. So yeah, fair play, mate. That's amazing, great insight. So yes, people, like we've said, all of these names are available to bid on. If anyone's unclear how to bid, basically all you have to do is go to ENS Vision. I'm going to push some links out after this, but go to ENS Vision, type in the name you'd like to bid on, make sure you spell it correctly, and then place a wrapped ETH offer on that name. If the reserve is met in 7 days' time at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, then the seller will accept that bid and the name will be yours. So yeah, we've had some fantastic names here today. Like, I just want to quickly remind you what we've got. We had Metropolis, At 3 ETH, an absolutely great, digital location name, metaverse, the whole Superman fandom, Metropolis being the city which Superman originates from and is set. We've got the very motivational achieve.eth, which is at a 1.5 ETH reserve. A lot of potential use cases for that one, as we've discussed. Item number 3, subdomain king of department.eth. 2 ETH reserve, very fair from the seller on this one. I think could have even more potential down the line. It's a super interesting name. Number 4, probably the highest quality name that we've ever had in a Sunday auction, is karma.eth, in my opinion. Universal term, like we said, starting off at a 4.5 ETH reserve. Item number 5 was Tyre, as we've said, the British spelling, TYRE, starting out of a 0.35 ETH reserve. And then items number 6 and 7 were 2 no reserve items, 5 digits, but very nice aesthetic 5 digits. And item number 8 being contraception, as we've just discussed. So this is the point of the show. I know we do these shill segments on a Thursday, but this one, we're going to have a short. We're going to have literally 10 minutes now, maybe even less. If you would like to come up on stage and just pitch a name, if you're a member of the community or you watch on YouTube Live and you'd like to get a little bit involved, you can request to come up on stage now. Something that I will ask is when you come up, please also state which is your favorite value for money auction name so far. And we're going to keep the pitches to about 1 minute each. So this is going to be swift and fast. But yeah, let's hear what we've got. So I can see you, my Barcelona brother, with the 18 crossed out, nuked. 30 seconds, mate. Would you like to pitch your names for us today?
Yeah, sure. I pitched it the other day too, but circumstances have changed a little bit with it. The quad magnets I just put on my name. 1 ETH, I'll extend it to 1 year. The other day, Fry pointed out that the trips were on sale too, but now they're in diamond hands and at 7.5 ETH. So I just wanted to share that one. Thanks, guys.
Awesome, mate. Awesome. Thank you for coming up and pitching that one. Any more? If not, we'll move on. This is just giving people a chance to come up and get involved. If I can see some people commenting on the YouTube Live as well. Also, hit us with a name in the comments there if you're quick, and I can give some feedback on that name on stage now. But yeah, if there's any more people interested, we've got a request here. I'll bring you up. Now's your time. This is going to be brief today, but it's great to hear from you all on a weekend. We've got Eric joining now. Eric, how are you doing today, mate? You've got 30 seconds, my friend. The room is yours to pitch. Hello, Eric. Can you hear me?
Oh, hey, ATP. Hi, everybody. Sorry, the connection was a little shoddy there on my end. I've got one that I'm curious about for a valuation here. It's Suisse, SUISS, and it's short for the Scottish University's International Summer School over in Europe. And I was just curious on what your guys' thought was.
How is the sort of shortened version? If you're Swiss nationality, how's that spelled? Sorry, not the same.
Yeah, I believe it's SUISSE.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say if it was the Swiss, like the like Brit or those sort of like nationality terms, then obviously a lot higher. Give me some context again. What was that? What do you say?
Yeah, it's the acronym for the Scottish University's International Summer School. It's like the oldest summer school for international studies over in the UK, I believe it is. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I think that the issue may potentially be with that name, as is for a lot of other names, is that if that Scottish university just take extra long to get into crypto, or just decide that they actually never want to buy it from you, the amount of buyers that you're targeting is smaller. So you've only potentially got one or one entity that could buy that name potentially. So I think that does reduce the value for a speculator, because you might be holding on to that for a long time, if forever, if you're looking to flip. So it's not personally a name that I would be willing to I truthfully, I wouldn't pay over 0.1 for that name right now, just being honest. But others may think differently from me, and that's only my opinion, Eric. So yeah, hope, I don't know if that's helpful or not.
Oh no, for sure. That kind of gives me a feel like as I'm starting to get my feet wet with everything on the ENS side. So appreciate it, TB.
Awesome, mate. Awesome. Great to hear from you, Eric. Thanks for coming up. Time for one last one. If anyone wants to come up and say anything, how they're doing on a Sunday, pictures, his quick name, and then we'll get moving to these next items because we've got some absolute bangers again, and I really want to share them all with you. We've got Silver Hair now. I'll let him connect and bring him onto the stage, and then we'll keep this party rolling. But yeah, it's nice to have this middle segment to speak to everyone. Silver Hair, today, how you doing, mate? Good to hear from you.
I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good. How are you guys all? How's your weekend?
Very good.
Nice.
Very, very good, mate. Very good. Living the life.
I'll take my touch quick. So I came across a domain I almost registered, but I didn't. I missed by like $5 and wanted to ask you guys what you have valued it at. That's eyelid. EYELID, as in the word eyelid. Not the plural, but the singular. Thanks.
So eyelid, what would I value it at? It's tricky because it's not really like a product that's sold, some two words I like because they're actual like names of products or a plural name of multiple like products that could be sold. Obviously someone can't really sell an eyelid. So I'm trying to think of like who would actually look to buy that name. I mean, from a medical sense, there's probably some value to it. Like people, when they were collecting like parts of the body, like bones, like femur and things like that, like I think that they definitely do hold value, even though I can't see end users for those straight away, just for like almost owning that name and that medical term. If I don't absolutely love eyelid, truthfully, I wouldn't pay over maybe 0.1 or 0.05 for eyelid. It's not my favorite, but if you're looking at registering it or you can get it for cheap, then it could definitely be something worth considering.
All right, great. I had it for almost $50 and was considering like registering it, thinking like you've got the eyesight, eyelashes and eyebrows. That's basically what you have in like part of the human anatomy, and that should kind of be like kind of a specific word. But then somebody like just registered it before it got to $50 for like $55. So I just wanted to like check in on my instincts, and I would have hoped sell for like 0.1 ETH, and yeah, that's what I just want to check out with you guys.
Yeah, well, if the market's bought it up at $55, then clearly it's worth $55 to someone. So yeah, it's obviously I'm only giving my opinion on this sort of stuff. ACV, I can see you got your hand up there, mate. Do you want to add in some points there?
Yeah, so I'll just say on this one, I'll keep it moving. I can see a specific, like the medical industry on this. If you do have a reach, I don't know how many people are going to call themselves or identify as eyelid, but like from a medical standpoint, I'm actually going to DM you a similar word, so you'll have that market if it does come to fruition. But yeah, so that's kind of where my mind goes on that one.
Yeah, eyelid surgery is super common, right? My dad was a plastic surgeon, didn't do much stuff that simple, but it is a big deal, even people get them just to like fix the size, droopy eyelids, whatever. It's pretty common. So I think that it would be worth a lot more than $55 to somebody. And especially as a keyword, we don't know if these names are going to get indexed, but man, as like eyelid.com, I would think that would be good. And then there's a lot of people that would use that as just a feeder into their, in the web too, would make a splash page and feed it back into the main site. But just the pure, like eyelid surgery, stuff like that, just as a pure organic traffic would be huge. But we don't know how that's going to play out. But yeah, I think it's worth a hell of a lot more than $50.
Amazing. Yeah, it's interesting to hear your feedback on that, Ron. I wasn't even aware of eyelid surgery, truthfully. So yeah, it shows you. I mean, obviously, there's so many different types of ENS names in different niches, and all I can do is try and give you my best opinion on the different prices. But yeah, that's clearly something I've had an oversight with there, because I wasn't even aware of eyelid surgery, truthfully. So it could well be worth looking at silver hair. Really appreciate you coming up. I know we've got a couple more requests now, but I'm going to keep the show rolling. I'm going to have a brief chance at the end for those requesting or coming up on stage to, maybe do something similar. But I really want to just cover the next names, because we've got some super names in here. I want to share them with you all. Just briefly, we've got some people who posted on the YouTube live comments. Someone's got ETH signed at 0.02. So that's an interesting name. Obviously, there's a lot of signing of signatures and things like that within Ethereum, and signing transactions and stuff. So maybe that has potential there. We've got Jimmy, who's commented fair dash price at 0.05. That's really interesting. It's difficult. The hyphen in the middle is, I think, something that's still being price discovered within ENS. Like, how does the price of 2 words compared to 2 words with a hyphen in the middle? But I think it's a nice name, and I could definitely see that selling at 0.05. We've got a very cheap name here, 0.008, which is World Sight. So I don't hate that name at all for that price. I think it's I think that could definitely sell. And then we've also got Mr. Wick, the John Wick character, Mr. Wick, that's listed at 0.5 ETH currently from Jammers. So some nice names there posted by the community, and I really appreciate you putting those in. We've also got Strategize coming now at 0.1, and that's the last one, people. But yeah, we're going to keep it moving now. So the next name that we've got for you here today now, this is a great name, absolutely great name, is educator.eth. So educator.eth. This has got a reserve of 0.8 Ethereum. Now, why do I like this one so much? Well, we talk about ENS a lot and digital identity. We talk about ENS being your digital identity, secure your Web3 identity, these type of things. And when you think about it, like, how many people are there on Twitter and just social media in general who push out content to other people that they want their content to be a learning resource. They want to educate people. That the reason they have a Twitter account and why they're gaining followers, the value that they're adding is educating people with information. So if you were, say, a Twitter user or any of these platforms, eventually when we get signing with Ethereum, who wanted to be known for what you do of educating people and teaching people different, and it could be anything as well. That's the thing, and that's what makes this name even more competitive and valuable. You could be an educator about crypto. You could be an educator about politics. You could be an educator about science. You could be an educator about coding. So, there's lots of different potential people who may want to have this name. But I think this name doesn't suit a big brand. It suits a single user, in my opinion. And I think it's an absolutely amazing name for an individual. And I think people would absolutely love to signify on Twitter that they are educator.eth. It's got a lower .com appraisal of $42,000, but this is where we're sort of saying that, the ENS.com and .com appraisals are not as directly correlated as one might think, because we talk about ENS being so much more about identity. So I wouldn't really worry too much on that. It's got a high cost per click of $2.91 and a 1.5 million broad monthly searches. So, clearly doing well in those metrics too. But I think it's a very good name, and I think it's very, very strong. And I'd love to get a couple of thoughts from you, ACV, on this one.
Yeah, no, it's a strong one for sure, man. All of these words have been strong today. So it's wild. Educator, yeah. I mean, it's an entire industry. Like I constantly say, I'm a huge fan of industries, and especially generics. And this could be even from a subdomain perspective. I could see this having from a company picking this word up, like actual company picking it up and issuing subdomains off of it. But yeah, I think you said price 0.8, correct?
Correct. Absolute steal, 0.8.
Yeah, I agree. I look forward to seeing this one throughout the week also.
Yeah, completely. This is one that, I think is very fair at that price. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bidding more on this one and to run that number up a bit. But yeah, very nice name, people. You know where to find it. You head over to ENS Vision, you type in ens.vision, you go onto the ENS Vision site and you type in educator and you place a wrapped ETH bid there. I'll be putting the links after this. So yeah, a very nice name. You know, we talk about ENS being a bit quiet, a little bit quieter, but this is the potential opportunity for you guys or girls to secure some real premium names. And I do think Educator is very premium, and I think it's got a clear end user. You know, I don't think you're buying this name just thinking, oh, hopefully someone might pay me 2 years from now. No, this name I think's got a lot of clear end users who may want to buy this from you. So it's one that I do really like. Items number 10 and 11. Two more absolutely amazing names. So the first one is occupation.eth. So occupation.eth, and that's at a 0.8 ETH reserve. So one thing that I wanted to sort of bring up on this one, and I actually put it in a tweet, was that, you know, we talk about ENS being identity, and what are the things that people want to identify as? Well, I mean, if you're a doctor or you're a pharmacist or you're a developer or you're a, you know, freelancer or whatever you may be, whatever industry or occupation you are in, you know, there's a clear desire to signal, you know, your occupation. If you own developer.eth, and that's a flex to the whole developer community that you are so early and you're the only one to own the name of your whole occupation. That's a massive flex, and there'll be a lot of respect that gets attached with that from your whole industry. But here today, what we have is you to own the level above that, the big daddy of occupation.eth. So I think that there are a lot of potential use cases with this one. I really like the idea of someone using this for sort of a career job site, and building that out further. But I think you could also even subdomain this as well. I think it's a real nice name, and at 0.8 ETH reserve, I think it's more than fair. So super nice name. We've also got consume.eth. So item number 11 is consume. So we saw procure get sold last week for 0.55, I believe. Another really great name. You know, it's a 0.8 ETH reserve, but you know, how many things do we consume on a daily basis? You know, we're such a consumer economy. We consume everything, you know, from food to products to pharmaceutical, whatever it may be. So I think that this is a really nice word, and you know, is very current to the world in general. I also like the play on .eth here. So, you know, you've got the consume.eth. I think that only adds value with the .eth part of the name being included within it. But yeah, two very high quality names here: occupation.eth and consume.eth, both at a 0.8 ETH reserve, respectively. So please consider, if you like what you're seeing at the prices that you're seeing, please consider placing a bid, and you can walk away with a premium ENS. I'm going to fire it over to ACV. We'd just love to hear some thoughts on these two.
And occupation, man, I can see that being like the temp agency or job finder of Web3. I can see that being built out. I could almost envision it. Yeah, that's a strong, man. I tell you, these type of words I love. Industries, job or profession, covering the whole blanket. So it's kind of like, I heard one earlier, I can't remember the name, but it's like you have one specific audience. I love words that have a huge audience, because when you're trying to sell something, there's multiple avenues of people that you can reach out to in regards to something like this. My mind just goes to like a job fair or a job site, something you could be created off of this. And consume, that's another great one. There was one earlier that the .eth played perfect off of it. I could see someone picking consume up for a flex, like consuming ETH, or from another standpoint, like say the food and beverage industry. It's kind of like Ron said earlier, if these keywords ever catch in Web3, oh man, words like this are going to be like phenomenal. So yeah, I like both of them.
Amazing points, mate. Amazing. Yeah, I completely agree. Just such clean, primary, used every single day of the week words, you know, very universally known. So yeah, two very nice names there. 0.8 reserve, people, you know, not crazy. We're talking about Karma being 4.5. Like, I think there's definitely, obviously not financial advice, but there's potential to flip here. You know what I mean? It's one that these are some names that I feel like you should consider if you're looking to secure, you know, a premium ENS name. Now we're going to move it over to our next items, and I've put these two together because these two go hand in hand. These are sort of akin to each other. The first name that we've got is migrate.eth, and that's starting at 0.8 ETH reserve. And the next name is migration.eth, and that's starting off at a 0.4 ETH reserve. So, why do I like these names? Well, I think that these are an absolute great name for any builder who are building tools within the migration sphere. There's so many projects already. Like, I've been in NFT projects that have had to migrate their contracts. So obviously an NFT collection gets released it's on a certain smart contract. You have these tokens on this smart contract. If for whatever reason there's either issues in the contract or there's not the sort of functionality built into the smart contract that's required, then migration is an option there, where you would migrate to a second smart contract. And I think that there's many projects that we're seeing who already have to do this, and I think that in the future, like, that number's only going to rise. Not only as like more projects enter the space and the space grows, but I think migration is just going to be a key part of Web3 for a long time. I also really like the fact that there was that recent ENS it might have been 1 or 2 months ago now, ENS update, where contracts could now be named using the ENS name associated with it. So you could have a contract that was minted and the name of the contract could be a certain thing. And I think that if you were a company who was serious about building tools within this migration area, then why not pay a couple of ETH and have the whole contract called migrate.eth or migration.eth. So I think there's definitely selling point. It needs the right buyer on this one, it does, but I think there are so many people developing in this area that you've got many buyers who could potentially fit this name. So yeah, we got both of these on sale today, or on auction today, sorry, in a 7-day auction, migrate and migration. So you could walk away and have a complete lock on this market if you wanted to. You could bid on these and have a complete lock on this migration market. So what we spoke about before, it's important to know what variations there are of names and what competitors there could be to you trying to sell a certain name. But yeah, I just think that for this particular process, like, there's not many, if any, alternatives which really describe this process. You know what I mean? Like, there are words like maybe you could transition or move or things like that, but to migrate or migration is migration. If a contract's being migrated from, it's being migrated from. So I think that these are some really strong words again, especially in the Web3 sphere, and would definitely I'd ask you to consider placing a bid on these, like the others on ENS Vision. Go on there, place a bid, and yeah, let's run it up. ACV, thoughts on the migrate and migration?
Yeah, spot on that one. I couldn't put it better myself. Yeah, I would like to see someone that picked up both of these. Like you said, they would have the entire market cornered. I'm not the most technical guy, I'll tell you, but I know in technology alone, I hear those words, or migrate especially, thrown around. So I think that those words both have multiple meanings, and if you have an opportunity at this low reserve price to corner an entire market, I think that would be a smart move on that one.
Yeah, completely, mate. Completely. That would be a big brain play for sure. So that brings us to item number 13 done. We're getting through this auction. We've got some super high caliber names. The next one is absolute bargain. So item number 14. This is a first name bundle of 5 different first names for a 5 ETH reserve. So I probably don't even need to say this, but I feel like the value proposition for an ENS first name is clear. People want to own the first names. We talk about digital identity. Well, what's the most common way that people want to identify as? People want to identify as the first name. Obviously, some of us want to remain doxed or semi-doxed or whatever, which is why I've got sunglasses on my eyes now. But I think the overwhelming majority of people would like to identify as their first name, as their first choice. With that being said, all ENS are one of ones. There is only one Clive.eth. There is only one Raquel.eth. And so, this gets highly competitive between people that share the first name. You could have millionaires and billionaires of a particular name that I think in 10 years' time are going to be fighting it out with absolutely crazy offers. So I think that the ceiling on some first names, I don't think there is a ceiling on some of these first names in a long enough time frame. So yeah, really interesting. The 5 particular names that are in this bundle that you can bid on today, people. The first name is Clive.eth. I've got some rankings here. So in terms of 4-name ranking, it's the 762th most common. It's most common as well in the UK. Raquel is the 700th most popular female first name. Like, these are globally, so the 700th most common globally. That's Raquel.eth, and that's most common in Brazil. We've also got Diane, spelled Dianne, and that's the 4,313th, and that's most prominent in the US. We've also got Aaron, Arron, and that's the 41,000th in the US, and most common in the US. And finally, we've got Josephine, spelled Josphiene, and that's the 108th thousand. Oh no, sorry, that's the 10,000th most common forename globally. Sorry, that was a mouthful. We've got it out, but I think that, you know, the value proposition's clear on these, and I think that what's more interesting about this bundle as well is if you know someone who's called Diane or called Raquel or called Clive within the Web3 space right now, and they're interested in ENS or becoming more interested, then from like a pure speculator point of view, there is opportunity here that you might be able to set up a deal with Clive that you're going to sell Clive to him for 3 ETH, and you might be able to sell Raquel to a Raquel for 2 ETH or 3 ETH or 5 ETH. So I think that there is potential for profit here from a speculator. The reserve price is 5 Ethereum, so it is a little bit higher, but given everything we've said of the value proposition of first names, I think it's clear to see why the reserve should be 5 ETH on this bundle. So very exciting. It is very exciting to have this bundle at our auction. Some super nice first names. ACV, thoughts on this bundle, my friend?
Yeah, no. So I was kind of so I look at these first names in terms of, like, I look at industries and potential reach that you could find that could be interested in purchasing this generic name or whatnot. So like Clive, just looking into Clive alone, you've got over 100,000 in the world people with a forename of Clive. So you've got that entire audience. And I mean, for say, take this name alone, you have one Clive out there that's into Web3 and wants his name to be the one. I mean, to be honest with you, a name like that, some of these first names, I could see one of these names bringing the reserve price of this entire bundle. So I like it. I like the bundle, especially the first names. So and that's just looking into just that one name, Clive. There's over 100,000 people out there that have that forename, Clive. So yeah, I think it's priced correctly. And yeah, it's cool to see a bundle of forenames also.
Yeah, mate, completely agree with everything you're saying. Yeah, I've never seen a bundle like this before of 4 actually of 5 really premium 5 names like this. Obviously, there are a couple of names which are less. Aaron and Josephine on these spellings are less popular, but you know the other ones are like really, like you were saying, like the very common names. And obviously, if there's more people with this name around the world, then that's, like I said before, competition and higher end buyer price, because there's more people who are fighting for this one thing. So yeah, it's like Raquel being the 700th like most popular. I haven't got how many names that is globally, but just so many. So it's it's going to be very interesting on these first names, and I think there's definitely a lot of value here, and it's definitely something that people should consider bidding on. For this name, because to bid on this name, because it's a bundle, please send me a direct message, and I will take that bid in there. I might also try and get it listed potentially as a bundle on OpenSea. That was on me, but yeah, we'll get that sorted. So if you're interested in this one, 5 great, absolutely fire first names, then please send me a direct message and we can get that bidding started. But yeah, premium. What can I say? Premium. So this brings us to our live auction part. But before we do that, I'm just going to give you all a quick reminder. So item number 1, we had Metropolis, you know, the digital identity, metaverse, fandom, Superman City, Babylon being sold for 20 ETH. This one's starting at a 3 ETH reserve. It's Metropolis. Item number 2, positivity and motivation, is achieve.eth, and that's for 1.5 ETH reserve. Great name for either a builder looking to build out a platform or even potentially a single user. Item number 3, how many subdomains are there? How the subs of subs of subs of subs. Going to be very interesting, to see how this one plays out in the next couple of years. And this is department.eth, a 2 ETH reserve. Very nice name. Definitely consider bidding on that one. Super premium, as Zero said before. A great name. Genuinely at a great price. This one is listed at 7. So I can speak with the buyer potentially about removing that if there's a couple of bids, but be aware of that one. This one could get bought outright at 7 at the moment, but 4.5 is the minimum that the seller would accept, and then bids up from on there. So if there is a bid at 4.5, and then if you're the next bidder at 4.7 in a week's time, then the 4.7 will be accepted and the name will be yours. So definitely one worth to consider bidding on. Very strong potential and a very nice name. That brings us to item number 5, which we said before is Tyre, the British spelling, but as we've said, it's a product that's used by millions of people on the cars every day, and with that beer.eth thesis of being a product like that, then the reserve that it's starting off at 0.35 looks very attractive. So slightly for a lower budget, but definitely a nice name and one you should consider bidding on. Items number 6 and 7 are the no reserve items. Okay, so no reserve. These could be sold for $10 in a week's time if that is the highest bid. So we got 36665.eth and we got 54443.eth. These aren't floor 5 digits, people. No way these are floor 5 digits. Don't let these go for floor digit prices, because these are 2 very nice 5 digits. That brings us to item number 8, which we said, very key medical term is contraception. Massive market globally. Item number 9, what a great name, educator. I feel like there's so many educators in the ENS space. I'd love to see someone who puts out good information become educator.eth. I think that's a great identity that you could build upon. Items number 10 and 11, like we've said, great names again. Occupation.eth. How many different types of occupations are there? Loads. So occupation starting off at 0.8 ETH reserve, and consume.eth, another very, clean primary, English word, is starting at 0.8 ETH reserve. That brings us on to our items number 12 and 13, which are migrate and migration. These are starting off at a 0.8 ETH reserve and a 0.4 ETH reserve respectively. So you could bid on the bundle, you could bid on these two and try and walk away with these two, and lock off that whole market. So very interesting opportunity. And then item number 14, look at these 5 first names, people. Absolute steal at 5 ETH. Consider if you've got the ETH lying around, or someone who would be interested, or if you know a Raquel or a Diane or an Aaron or a Clive or a Josephine in the ENS space, let them know that this auction's happening. They have a chance right now to acquire their first name. They may never get this chance again. Someone may just acquire the first name and then that's it. Some people will not care for whatever amount of money is offered. Okay. Some of these first names will get locked up and they'll be off the market forever. And that's just how it goes. So if you know someone with this first name, please, this is a great opportunity for them to acquire it. Reach out to them, put them in contact with me. So 5 great names there. And now it brings us on to one of the most fun parts of the show, in my opinion. And it's something that we're definitely going to extend out further. I'm even in the future going to auction off potentially some of your guys' names, your guys and girls' names live in this auction format. But I'm going to explain what's going to happen. So we've got 2 really nice email subdomains that we've got for you today. We've got ola.email.eth. So if you watch on the YouTube live, should have said before, this is on YouTube live as well. We've got visuals. It's not just me speaking into the abyss. We've got visuals here, which, show the points that I'm talking about. You can see what these subdomains are live. So please jump in there if you would like. But, the first one we've got for you is ola.email.eth, and that's starting off at a $30 reserve. So how we've done these in the past is, if you're interested in bidding, please request to come up on stage now. And then how the bid will work is the bidding will start off at $30 and will go up in increments of $5. And the bidding will be done verbally. What is a subdomain? Well, it's an interesting time with the ENS wrapper coming out. And basically, my understanding anyway is that with a subdomain, you're going to have exactly the same usability as a root domain. So if the owner of the root, so if the owner of email, which is a ZZC client, they will fuse the name. And then after that point, these subdomains will be separate standalone NFTs. So at that point, depending on how it's fused, you'll be able to, sell, trade, put offers on all these different names. They'll show up as NFTs in the exact same way that, the root ENS names do now. So very interesting time. These will have a $5 renewal fee after 1 year, but super interesting names. We've also got the email emoji.email.eth at $30. So if anyone's interested in that today, we can also auction that one off. So is there any interest? Is there any interest? If you would like to place a bid on this, please request to come up on stage now, and we can get this bidding started. Tumbleweeds. No problem, no problem. How are the people on stage doing? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you're here to bid, or you're just chilling. Thumbs up. We going to do some bidding? You want to do some bidding? Because Zero's been rewarding these. He's been giving people a second one as well, which we've been making sure we people get what from bidding on these, that we make sure people get some good names. So obviously that's not guaranteed, but yeah. So without further ado, can I hear $30 for ola.email.eth? Is there any interest at $30? Any interest? If you'd like to bid, please just come off mic and say $30 or whatever you'd like to bid.
$30.
$30. Ron, you saved me from the crickets. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Ron is the highest bidder here with $30. Do I hear 35 in the room anywhere? 35 from anyone? 35. Any interest? Any interest? Come on. Come on, people. A very, very nice subdomain here. ola.email.eth. No interest. Will be sold at $30. Give me these opportunities, people. I'm not going to waste my time if no one wants to bid. Okay, well, going for the first time at $30 is ola.email.eth. Going for a second time at $30 is ola.email.eth. And going for a third and final time, come on, people, speak now or forever hold your weath. For a third and final time, ola.eth is going to be sold to Ron for $30, and this name is now sold. Amazing. Congratulations, Ron. Amazing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. I think these Grail emails are going to be worth more than some 5 digits and stuff. So I'm happy to have it. Can't believe that.
100%. As soon as these get started trading, and for the real Grail ones, it's going to be a very interesting time. So yeah, thanks for getting involved there, Ron, and walking away with a great name today. So I'll DM you after this, and I'll sort out getting that to you. So really appreciate you joining in. Right then, I don't know if I'm even going to auction off the email emoji, because I just feel like we're not going to get enough for it today, what it's worth. So I might save that one for next time. But I'm going to build out this live format a bit further in the future. I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to even send over a name to the ENS Trading Post that you would like to auction off at no reserve, that we can do live on this show. And we're going to look at some other ways to do these live auctions, because they are very fun. It's more difficult to do with the premium names, because it's you don't always get the audience in live to run up the premium bids, but it's definitely a fun aspect that we're going to explore more. So yeah, This is bringing us to the end of the show. Like, I think it's been really good. But I just want to remind everyone, these are quality names. They will be sold at the end of our auction. Please, if you are interested in some of these names, we've got Metropolis, we've got Achieve, we've got Department, we've got Karma, we've got Tire, we've got the 5 digits, Contraception, Educator, Occupation, Consume, Migrate, Migration, 5-name bundle. We've got some absolute great names. So if you'd like to place a bid and potentially win these names, then head over to ENS Vision to place a bid. I'm going to be updating on the timeline of when bids come in and keeping you all posted. But we are going to have another show, people. Same time, same place next Sunday, where we're going to wrap up these bids. We're going to see what's been happening. We're going to see what bids have come in, see what's being sold, and the next auction show will be us concluding the auction up to that final point. So it's going to be live. We're going to be looking at the action together. And let's run up these bids, people. Like the no reserve one, like let's get some bids on there. Come on. I'm going to give this final portion of the show now. I'm going to let a couple of people come up on stage, give some thoughts. You pitch a name, tell us what your favorite value for money name is when you come up, tell us what your favorite auction name is, and pitch. It'd be great to hear from you all, and I hope you've been enjoying the show.
Keep the shows to 1 minute, and then we'll try to get as many people in as possible.
Perfect. 1 minute, people. We've got to be strict on it, okay? 1 minute, that's all you're getting. If you're on stage now and you would like to speak to either pitch or, say comments, put your hand up. Hedgehog was first. So the floor is yours, Hedgehog. How are you doing today, mate?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me here. The name I want to pitch is it's a pre-punk, I think. It's potmarket.e. Once again, potmarket.e. P-O-T market.e. For those who love cannabis, right? That could be a good domain. And that's it. Oh, it's also listed on I think it's listed for 1.5E.
What was your favorite auction name, Hedgehog?
Metropolis, without a doubt.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. So you heard it here, people. Potmarket.eth, like weed, cannabis, pot market, could potentially be built out as like a marketplace for buying cannabis related NFTs or, token gated things in real life cannabis type events. Really like it, Hedgehog. His favorite name was Metropolis. And I'm pretty sure it was Cartoon Apes was the next person with a hand up. So the floor is yours, my friend.
Hey, bonjour. Thank you so much, ENSTP. Thank you to having me on the stage today. Wonderful stage and really great domains also. ZZC Coin, of course, SCV and RN1. So just to have a brief evaluation about that domain. It's UN country name domain. It's English also. It's Mauritania. Because as I see in ENS Vision, it's really hard to have any evaluation because we have just 12 country names listed, and it goes to 0.5, which is Guinea-Bissau, to 69 ETH, which is Greece.eth. So I just want to have a clear evaluation about Mauritania.eth, and thank you so much again to having me on the stage, and I'd love to hear about that. Thank you again.
I didn't hear that, but can you spell it for us?
Mauritania, of course. MauriTania. So Mauritania. It's the right spelling. It's an African country, actually.
I'm with you. So it's an African country. I've never heard of it or never been, truthfully, mate. Thank you for coming up on stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's it's interesting. Like, I mean, the floor price of that country category, or if you were able to categorize them yourself, like I guess that gives some indication of what it might be worth. Like, in my view, like, because I've not even heard of the country before, I'm not that cultured, so that might just be me. But like, I I would say that it's one of the lower country names. So I would be looking at the floor price of those categories and maybe be looking up, maybe trying to price similar to those. I mean, it's difficult to even price the countries. Like, I think that some of the most desirable names to own, like ZZC Group, we represent Belize, .eth. I remember, was it 2 or 3 months when Spain sold for, was it 14 ETH or 16 ETH, Spain.eth? And I thought that was an absolute steal. So yeah, I mean, definitely bullish on country names. I think that's one of the best type of names to own. I don't personally own a country, and I would like to, but yeah, maybe consider listing at the country floor if you're looking to sell. That would be my non-financial advice.
Yeah, thank you again, if I may. So yeah, it's like you said, it's really hard to evaluate it, like, because just 12 in ENS Vision they listed, and even though like only 195 or 93, depends how we see it, the countries in the world. So I think it's really, if you call it a category, it's really small category. Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Thank you. Yeah, it's interesting, like how obviously ENS Vision have done a very good job of categorizing, but my personal view is it's not on them to categorize everything. So yeah, maybe even if you wanted to categorize manually of other similar countries, and to get a flavor of if there's some sort of country ranking or some type of thing like that, look at similar ones near that country name and see if they've been bought or sold in any sort of recent time frame. But really appreciate you coming up on stage today, mate. It's great to hear from you, and thanks for coming up. I'm going to throw it over to Magnum next. I believe he had his hand up next. So Magnum, the stage is yours, my friend.
Hey, how we doing, mate? All good. I wanted to mention that the name that I most enjoyed hearing today was Karma. And I was thinking, karma is used on Reddit, right?
Yeah, very true, actually. Very true.
For point. So I think that's another angle that we might use for karma, even though, it's an amazing word as it is. So I just wanted to throw that out there. With regards to the word that I want to pitch, is very simple. I want to pitch misspelled. And it is correctly spelled. 0.3, ready to move it.
Nice. So you heard it, people. He's got misspelled, spelled correctly, at 0.3 ETH. That's nice, man. I'll have to take a look for sure. I mean, I don't know if I would be buying it personally right now, but I do think it's a nice name. And where do you see the person who buys it from you? Where do you see them taking that name?
That is one of the things that I was thinking. It's quite difficult to ascertain the value of a word like that. I was just brainstorming, and I was thinking perhaps if search engine optimization is going to be a thing, misspellings are a big part of it. So I was reckoning perhaps something along those lines, where there's a directory where brands can list the misspelled words for their brands and things of that nature. So there's kind of a record or something along those lines. I don't know. It's quite tricky.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I like that's a better idea than I think that's a cool idea for sure, and I think that could definitely have some legs of like misspelled ENS names and just like brand protection, like you say, and misspelling of brand names, things like that. So yeah, really great point. Thanks for coming up on stage, Magnum. Thank you for that point about karma. I'm gonna be using that to help promote. So that's a great point I overlooked. So thank you, brother. And yeah, nice to speak to you today. People on stage, if you like, please just put your hand up so I know who's looking to speak. I appreciate that. Shipper Fools, you are the first one, and then we'll get to you after Sky.eth. She just beat you to it, did Ship? So Ship, the space is yours.
Hi guys, thanks for having me up. Yeah, today I've got a simple buildable name It's great for subdomains. I'll be short and sweet. It's Pro Events. That's PROEVENTS. Passes the radio test. Very generic. I think there's a lot of different buyers who'd be interested. And I'm looking to get around, 0.3 for it. Thanks.
Nice ship, nice. Pro Events, I like the sound of it. I think it's yeah, it's a cool name, definitely. Interesting at 0.3. It's interesting as well because of, you know, there's a lot of talk about NFT ticketing type things being a great application area, and that's a lot of, you know, parallels with ENS. So I think if we start doing if NFT ticketing comes in big, because I think it just makes a lot of sense from a technological level, I think that name comes even stronger. So yeah, that's a very, very interesting name. Ship from the auction names, which one was your favorite? Do you have a favorite from the auction names today? No problem. I'll put you on the spot a bit there. My bad. But no, thank you. ACV, do you have any thoughts on that one, mate?
Yeah, pro events, man. What comes to mind is like some sporting, like if there was I guess a reach and like catering or some events, you know what I mean? They're like professional athletes or something along that line. Yeah, it's got a good ring to it though.
Yeah, definitely. No, really appreciate you coming up and pitching that one today, Ship. Always absolutely great to hear from you. You know, I've said before, Ship's got a lot of great names, so go and check out her wallet. She's got some real interesting utility names and some really nice clean ENS names, so go and check out her wallet. Sky.eth, you had your hand up next, mate. How are you doing today?
I'm all right. Yourself, Trading Post?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad.
Great show, by the way, as always. Very professional. It was two things. Basically, I've just listed that bundle. Sadly, obviously, you can't list on ENS Vision yet, so I'll put it on OpenSea. I've DM'd you the link. I've listed out obviously 100 ETH, but you can make offers now on bundles, so I'll leave it there for the week.
Amazing.
And obviously, I bet it's rude for me to shill a name, but I would like a valuation on one of my names. But just your take on it. It's a pre-punk local dealer.eth, and I think subdomain market could be pretty good for that one.
Yeah, that's
price, Ken's.
Well, no, I don't want to shill it out. Well, obviously, I don't think it's right because obviously I've got a name in the bundle, so I just want to just like a valuation from Trading Post expertise.
Okay, how's your hemorrhoids, by the way?
They're amazing, zero. Yeah, you're such an arse, but we love you.
Yeah, mate. No, I really appreciate you putting that in the bundle for me. I'll get to that DM after this, and some absolute great first names in there, mate. Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, local dealer is interesting. So I think that the fact that it's pre-punk, I don't know if at this moment in time, unless it's really early, it adds a lot more extra value. I do hear what you're saying on the subdomains coming out, and we are kind of like dealers of ENS at the end. At the end of the day, we buy, sell, we trade, so we are like dealers in that sense. To give you any sort of like semi-accurate, I would have to have a bit of a look on and just see like what other words like similar, like dealer, like sub dealer and things like. I'd have to have a look on and see what others had sold for. Truthfully, like I personally wouldn't be paying more than 0.2 ETH for that name right now. That's just me being honest, but I could definitely have more of a look into it, and I think it is interesting. If it's really early as a pre-punk, so if I look into it and it's actually like super early, I think that definitely.
It's not a sub 10K one, definitely not. I was more thinking of like a marketplace with like, you've got art dealer, car dealer, drug dealer, then you can have locations and, people want to come, buy a car or some puff off you and their cryptocurrencies. It's sort of like a little marketplace in your local area, but obviously it's a lot of work to actually build the website to make it function. But that's just what's in my head. It was one of the ones I'm not planning on selling, but it would be an interesting one to build.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I'm picking up what you're putting down with regards to building the marketplace type thing as well. Like, I think it's like you said, it's just there's just like a bit of work that's got to be done to actually realize that, and it's just whether someone whether they need that specific ENS or not. But I'll send it to me afterwards, and I'll have a more detailed look at it. But yeah, it's an interesting name, definitely, mate.
Awesome.
One more thing. Let me just give you guys a story on Ken's. So this morning I presented Ken's with an offer on one of his names. It was over close to 50K. And Ken said no this morning. But we won't reveal which name that he got an offer on. But we're working in the background to, the ZZC Group representing Ken's as well. So kudos to you, Ken's, for holding on to the name and not taking the 50K offer. We'll keep to that guy. And
like I said, as I say, I've been in this since 2019, and I strongly believe that this is sort of the best utility on the Ethereum blockchain. And, a lot of people still don't see it yet, but I believe, 2025 and further on, people will see it. So the ones that we're selling to now are the people who kind of see it, but are the speculators. So we're not going to we're not selling to the final buyers now, but obviously sometimes you just need liquidity and you have to do what you have to do. But I believe in a few years' time, ENS will be a major part of this ecosystem. It probably is now, but it's not built out as it will be.
Yep, and as our part, as our firm part, as being representing Ken's, no matter what the offer is, I still have to present it to him. But hats off to Ken's for saying no to 50K. It could help with your hemorrhoid operation coming up, though. But having said that, let's go to the next guest. All right, Ken, see you later.
I'll catch you later. Cheers,
Amazing. Right, people, this is going to be your last chance to request to come on and pitch us a name briefly. So if you'd like to request to get on stage now, after the next one, I'm going to shut off the stage. Also, I did say at the start, we're going to give away $25 in ETH to one person who shares on the stage today. I'm going to randomize it afterwards and pick someone. So if you're shy, we're not scary. Consider coming up and saying hello. If you're always a listener, and you hardly ever say anything, you can come up and just say hello, and it's absolutely fine. Like I've been there where I was too scared to even come up on stage. So, just consider it like if you want to come up and speak, like it's a good opportunity to do so right now. With that being said, I buy gold. You've got your hand up there, my friend. I'm going to pass the mic over to you. Take us away.
Hey, NSTP. Hello, everyone. So the word I have for you is vintners. VINTNERS. It means wine cellar or wine cellar, I believe, or somebody who grows grapes for wine. It is technically, I'm not sure if it's technically a plural or not, because you never see it alone. When a establishment markets themselves, they always market themselves as vintners and not vintner. So I see this as, kind of a commerce play. What I am asking for this is 0.5. And my favorite offering today was the names bundle.
Nice, man. Nice. So you were saying it was a wine cellar or a wine related process. What was the actual, I missed the spelling of the word, sorry.
VINTNERS. It comes, I believe, from the French word, I'm not going to say this right, but vin, VIN is, I believe, the word for wine.
Yeah, I'm with you. Do you know if it's is it still an English word that was just that came from France as the origin, but it's still an English word, or is it a French word? Do you know?
Oh no, I don't know if it's a French word. It's definitely an English word. You see it all over the place. There's quite a number of them. I'll have to look it up again. Oh, there's 7,600,000 results on Google. And then there's just a whole bunch of listings of different wine establishments.
Nice, I buy gold. I'm just going to I'm gonna pass it over to the panel potentially, either ACV or Zero, in case someone's more familiar with this than me. It's something that I'm not super familiar with, truthfully.
So is a wine merchant or a wine maker is sort of what the dictionary, Webster's and dictionary.com say. People who make it or people who sell it, or establishments that make it or sell it.
Nice, mate. Nice. It's super interesting. I mean, if obviously if there's multiple people who do that process, buy and sell the wines, like you're saying, there's multiple shops for it. It's just something that I'm not going to lie to you, I don't know truthfully too much about. So I wouldn't personally be paying 0.5 Ethereum today. However, that might just be my knowledge at this time for that particular market. It's just is not up to scratch. However, I could do a bit of research and to see, but yeah, that might just be my lack of knowledge, truthfully, mate. But I do really appreciate you coming to pitch today.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's also, sort of a parallel to a vineyard.
Right. Yeah, I do know what you're saying with that. The vin is wine in French, and we've got Cartoon Apes. You are French, my friend. I believe I heard that lovely accent. Do you want to enlighten us?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Yeah, if I add something on it, yeah, of course, it's etymologically from the French word like the vin, the vino, right? And agrees, but actually, if I translate it, the real French word, it's the vignoble, the winemaker or someone who really grows the grape, right? So vignoble. But it comes, yeah, from the etymologically from the French word, the vin, definitely.
Amazing. Yeah, really appreciate that that insight, mate. No, I think it's a nice word. Learning more about a winemaker. I think it could have some potential. Have you had any interest, any offers, or where can they find? Is it in the iBuyGold wallet?
Yes, it is. I haven't had any interest, but I've got a bunch of bangers, and I just haven't had much interest in any of them.
No, that's fair, mate. Exposure's difficult. I'm gonna be making a post from the Thursday auction names. I'll be putting this one into and collecting through some of the other ones. I've got a couple of jobs to do, but I'll try and help you get a bit more exposure for that one, mate. It sounds like a really an interesting.
Awesome.
Sorry, it took me a bit long to get there. I had a bit of a mental block. It's those Sunday night vibes, so I apologize. That's on me, but really appreciate you coming to the stage, mate. I'm gonna throw it over to the next person and keep it moving. But
thank you for having me.
Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you coming up to speak. I don't know who was next first with a hand, so I'm going to go to I don't know how to pronounce your name properly, but Epiodo. Enlighten me, friend. I've absolutely butchered that. How do I pronounce your .eth?
Hey, what's up? What's up, guys? Thanks for bringing me up. All good. Yeah, Epodo, you said it right.
Amazing.
So, yeah, the name that I have that I've been trying to give to the person, to offer to that person, is a celebrity, founder of one of the biggest groups, music groups in the world, the Black Eyed Peas. His name is Apple the App, APLDEP. I'm trying to give that away to him for a very reasonable price. I even listed it for 1 ETH. But we tried to reach him out because I've seen that he actually dropped an NFT collection. He's very into Web3 and stuff, and was recently a judge and a part of the Philippines Web3 event. So that's the one I have for today. Apple the App.
Nice, mate. Nice. What's the price on that? And which was your favorite auction name?
To be honest, I would love for him to actually have it. I would give it away for 1 ETH, just for the sake of him having it. But if someone would like to get it, I will take offers. I don't know, maybe 0.5, 0.3, something like that.
Nice, man. Nice. If anyone's interested in the audience on that one, then please go and visit your website. Not sorry, mate, I'm losing it. Your wallet. Yeah, I'm not as sounds like an interesting name. Black Eyed Peas, obviously a lot of fans, and a lot of significance like that. If we could get it to the actual end user that you wish to, then that'd be amazing as well. So yeah, thank you for coming up and pitching that today, mate. Now, people, it's the last one of the day. We've had an amazing auction. Just to remind you all quickly, I know we're coming to an end now. But just before we do, we've got Metropolis 3 Ethereum reserve, Achieve 1.5 Ethereum reserve, Department 2 Ethereum reserve, Karma 4.5 Ethereum reserve, Tire 0.35 reserve, 36665 no reserve, 54443 no reserve, Contraception no reserve, Educator 0.8 ETH reserve, Occupation 0.8 ETH reserve, Consume 0.8 ETH reserve, Migrate 0.8 ETH reserve, Migration 0.4 ETH reserve. We've got a great first name bundle, 5 ETH reserve, and that is it. So, Ant Senior, you're going to be the last pitch, mate, and then we're going to wrap it up for today's show. How it's going to work, with 7 days from now, we're going to have another show next Sunday. Please tune in, join us again. We'll have another great time. We're going to be watching the conclusion of the bids, so it'll be even more exciting. I'm going to post the bids on the timeline, and yeah, just really appreciate everyone being here. Ant Senior, how are you doing today, mate? You're the last pitch. The space is yours.
Ew, what's going on? Everything's pretty good. Thanks for throwing these and let me come up and deal with my nonsense. I have one that I want to just kind of throw out there, and then one I wanted someone like your opinion on. I think we had talked about it last time, but the first one I had, which I thought was like something that's becoming more prevalent, especially like younger generation, is like recycling. So I made the word, not made it, but minted recraft. So you're going to recraft something. I have it set at 0.4, and I just think for a name of a company, just anything really, recycling with 3D printing, you can 3D print houses now. I just think that's going to be, recraft, recycling, those words that are showing that recycling is going on, or just reusing things, I think will be pretty big in the future.
Yeah, that's a cool one, mate. That's interesting for sure. I can see where you're coming from.
And then the other one was down in the comments was that I don't know who we were speaking to last time, but it was the buyer one using A and B. It's the only, besides getting normal characters, it's the only other way you can get like a letter, and it was buyer.eth. And I just wanted your guys' opinion. Pitch the first one, opinion on the second one.
Oh, so it was the buyer with the B emoji. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah. I don't know if you remember. I have quite a few of them, and I sold adult.eth one for pretty good.
Yeah. No, that's yeah, it's interesting. So I'll start off with the first one, recraft. I hear what you're saying. The recycling type things are only going up around the world. Truthfully, I've never really heard the term recraft that often, or if ever. So I think that obviously, if it's slightly less used, brings like my valuation down a bit. But I can definitely see where you're coming from, and I mean, and it's kind of, it's a word that does something as well. Like recraft. Like, I mean, who knows if there's kind of a blockchain type game, or if you get to customize your own character, or you get to do different things, maybe that's recrafting, and I think it's got uses there. But I mean, I wouldn't be buying it personally at 0.4 just because I've not heard of the term that often. But I mean, who knows, someone else may do. But I think it's actually one that has some potential with the way that things will be built out, and it's a word that does something. So I think it's interesting. The builders with the B emoji, it's interesting because the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that someone could have the emoji at B, they could have the emoji at different parts of the letters. There are potentially some variations. I mean, is it the best name that's after buyers? Like, would someone look for an alternative in that? Maybe. Is there emoji characters for all letters? That's correct, isn't it? No.
So the only emoji you can get for another letter that's actual that size or even close is A, B, 0, or a O, depending how you want to interpret it, and a P. Those are the only letters you can get outside of like, using a letter itself or using like emojis that you have to search 4 days to track that, to get out of your phone. It's all you do is you type A into any phone and that red one will pop up on your emoji, or the B one will pop up.
That's very interesting, and that's something that I didn't know. So thank you for giving me that information. That changes my thoughts on it a bit then, because that obviously means that there's a lot less variations that you can do this with. Obviously, there's only 4 letters currently. Then if you were to do this for buyer, then there's no other variation that you could do this for. You know what I mean? You couldn't change the Y or the E. So I think that definitely adds value to it than what I originally thought. I mean, something to bear in mind maybe that more of these letter emojis perhaps may get added in down the line, but I don't think it's terrible, mate, at all. It's something that is, price is yet to be discovered, and it just depends how many people really want buyer, because obviously there will be quite a lot. But then, where does this fall down on the alternatives? But now you've kind of given that information, I think it ranks higher than I thought it did initially. So I'd keep hold of it, mate. Definitely. $5 renewal. Like I'd be put that away, mate. Yeah. I don't want to give you advice now and you go away and just like register every, premium name with a B, A or O or P in it. But I would keep hold of it for sure.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that one. I mean, I always look for little loopholes, something that, if it was a derivative, sometimes I think these look cleaner than the word itself, and I was even thinking, I think further down the line, but companies may want to clean up their accounts and be like, okay, let's send all our shitty stuff to this account, or let's send money from this hedge fund, or, whatever, and we'll name it this, or we'll name it this buyer that buys all the time, and it still gives them, privacy. So I did like private, public, I set them at outrageous prices so I can set them and forget them, like a George Foreman grill,
100%, mate. 100%. No, mate, you're done right there, and it's an interesting name, and I appreciate you giving me the extra information. And I learn something every day. We all learn from each other in this space. That's why it makes it so amazing. But yeah, we're coming to the end of the show now, people. I think I've actually messed it up to do music on the outro and YouTube Live. So if you're in YouTube Live, you're going to get a music outro. If you're on Twitter Spaces, sadly this time you're not. But we're going to get this set up better each and every week. We're going to keep bringing you some absolutely killer names. Hopefully you like the discussion. Massive thanks to ACV. It's absolutely great points that he put in there, and he came supported today. If anyone is not following ACV, make sure you follow ACV right now. But yeah, just super thank you for everyone for attending on this Sunday. It's a pleasure to spend it with you. We've got absolutely killer names, people. Don't just overlook this. Give these some thought and some consideration. I know it's difficult times, but just consider whether you do want these names at some of these prices, because there are some real high caliber names. So yeah, just massive thanks to Zero and Ron and Maverick and the whole team. Thanks to Sky and Stephen and Bruce and STP and 3113 and Lucy and Shabbat and Ship of Fools, Jimmy, of course, Transact, Lauren, Lover, Hedgehog, some people down there, Costello, Fast Forward, get up on stage next time and speak. We've got another Thursday auction spaces, which is better for pitching. But same time, same place, people, next week. Let's conclude this Sunday auction. Let's get some bids. I'm going to put it on the timeline, so you're going to see a lot of me there. But yeah, just massive, thanks and love for turning up today. I'm going to play some music on the YouTube, and I'm going to call this one a day. So yeah, this is Post, and I'm signing off. Peace.